Welcome back to Math with the Real Floater. Today, let's dive into the world of percentages.
Fractions with a denominator of 100 are called percentages. So if we have a quarter, we know that a quarter is the same thing as 25 over 100. Someone may ask, how did we just get that? Remember, to move from 4 to this number, 4 to 100, we have to figure out what number we multiply this 4 by to get 100. And that's 25. So once we multiply numerator and the denominator by the same number, we have what you call an equivalent fraction. So this is an equivalent of this fraction. If we have 2 over 5, that's the same thing as, or we get this to be 100, we multiply 5 times 20. So 20 times 2 is the same thing as 40. We just had 40 over 100, right? And this is the same thing as saying 40%. So instead of using the word percentage, we use this symbol that we just had right here. If we have 2 over 5, remember this was equals to 40 over 100, right? And we said this is equals to 40%. How do we move from this 205 to this 40%? Whenever we have a fraction, to convert it to a percentage, we just multiply the fraction times 100. So we have 2 over 5 times 100. That will give us the percentage that we're looking for. 5 into 5 goes 1, 5 into 100 goes 20, which is equals to 40%. In an exam, if we got 13 out of 20 questions correct, meaning there were 20 questions, we got 13 correct. What's our percentage on that exam? We just multiply this by 100, okay? And we will get 20 into 20 goes 1 into 105. 5 times 13 gives us 65%. If you did a next test and you get 47 out of 50, which means you did a test with 50 questions, you got 47 correct. What was your percentage? You just multiply this by 100. 15 to 51, 15 to 100, 2 times. 2 times 47 gives you 94. So on that test, you did very good. You got 94%. But we just got 94%. 94% is the same thing as saying 94 over 100. In a decimal form, this is the same thing as saying 0.94. How did we get 0.94? If we have 94 and we divide 94 by 100, we move our decimal place 2 places to the left. So in a sense, this is saying 94.0. There's no 0.0, but that's what 94 is, 94.0. Here's our point. We move it 2 places to the left. We get 0.94 when we divide 94 by 100. So this is how we convert from a fraction to a decimal when it's over 100. We have 3 over 100. It's the same thing as, let's work it out. This is the same thing as saying 3.0. So we move 2 places to the left. So we have 1 and we have 2. Wherever this ends, that's where the point goes. And we replace this space with a 0. So So we have 0.03, 0.03. Let's say we had 32%. How do we convert this percentage into a fraction? Remember that 32% is the same thing as saying 32 over 100. So what's the highest number that can go into these two numbers without leaving a remainder? That is the number 4. 4 into 32 goes 8 times. 4 into 100 goes 25 times. So this is equals to 8 over 25. That's our fraction that's equivalent to this percentage. Let's convert this fraction back to this percentage. Remember, it's 8 over 25. So we have 8 over 25. And how do we convert this to a percentage? We multiply this by 100. 425 into 25 goes 1 times, into 100 goes 4 times. So we get back our 8 times 4 is equals to 32%. So we just saw how we moved from a percentage to a fraction, and how we move back from our fraction to a percentage. Let's get into some practical real life situation. If you have a car and the cost of a car is $400, and they said for you to get this car, you need to make a down payment of 20% of this. Cost of a car is $400 and you need to make a down payment of 20%. How do we know what this 20% is equals to? 20% is the same thing as saying 20 over 100. Okay? So when we work this out, then we multiply, because 20% is a fraction of the 400. So we have the percentage, which is 20 over 100 times 400. Okay? Listen to this, 1 times, 4 times. So this is equals to 4 times 20 is 80. So you have to make a down payment of $80 so you can get this car. If you go into a store and you see a shirt for $50, okay, and they say it has been discounted by, let's say, 10%, and you know that when you buy something and it's discounted, you'll be paying less than this number that we have here. So what do we do first? Let's find the 10% of 50. The 10% of 50 is the same thing as saying 10 over 100 times 50. Okay, this is equals to 50 into 50 goes 1, into 100 goes 2 times. So this is equals to 2 into 10 goes 5. So 10% of 50 is equals to $5. Now, will you pay $5 for the cost of the shirt? No. This is the discounted price. So the price of the shirt will be $50 minus $5. The cost of the shirt will be $50 minus $5, which is equals to 45. So the cost of the shirt will be $45. Initially, the cost of the shirt was $50. Then it has a discount of 10%. So we find out what the 10% is of the cost of the shirt. And the 10% of 50, we worked out to be $5. So you'll be paying $5 less than the cost of the shirt, and we get the value of $45. So you'll be paying a price of $45 for Sure.